Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart. Today we are going to dive deep into Fiesta Days and why we love it.
I'm Stacy Beck. We'll talk with 3 local ladies about their favorite memories of Fiesta Days.
And I'm Angie Murphy. We'll also learn about the Grand Parade and the car show.
We love our Fiesta Days. All this and more on Studio Chatter. Welcome to Studio Chatter. The heat is on. How are you staying cool?
I'm going up in elevation.
Yeah, you went on a trip to cooler weather. That was good, Stace.
Yeah.
That was a great idea.
And we went camping in June. Like, you need to get higher.
Yeah, you do. Because
Get
down here in the desert is really, really hot.
Yeah, like suffocating some days. It's like, holy cow.
Especially when your
101 is
AC
hot.
goes out, guys.
Did yours go out?
Yes. Did you
Ours
get it
went
remedied?
out. Oh,
Did you
yes,
get it
we
fixed?
did.
Okay.
We got a new AC unit. Okay, we've been in the home 18 years, so it's lived a good life,
Yes.
I guess. But it was surely painful to purchase a new one.
That is bad. We've done that.
And then they're like, and you might as well do a new furnace because like,
Because we're here.
trying to like connect the old school with the new school. It's just not very like, I don't know, economical or whatever. So anyway, I got myself a new furnace, so great for the fall, and then a new AC unit. But you guys, going a few days, and it was right in that heat week, and it was so bad. You went in our home and you're just sweating bullets.
Ew.
But the new probably works so well that now you're like freezing to death sometimes,
It
right?
works so well, but it hums a little bit. Like it like sits right outside of our family room, and I can kind of hear. I feel like before when it would start up, like you could kind of hear it. And so I just texted Rhett and I was like, I don't think I can deal with that. I just bought this brand new.
I want it.
And he's like, I think you're sensitive to sound. And I was like, I don't know, maybe.
That would bother me too.
Yeah.
So maybe you should get that tweaked.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So that's
Good
really
stuff.
good. Yes.
Yes.
So we went a little higher too, but we've done a couple of the as seen on TV solutions.
Okay, which are?
So have you seen the little, I don't even know what to call them, the earphone type things that are like the AC units that you wear around
No,
your
I
neck?
have not.
So you charge them. They're not even battery powered, so that's even better because you just charge them with USB, and they run for 6 hours. I'm totally gonna wear them to the parade this year.
They're a headset?
They look like a headset, but
Okay.
they're not. But you just wear them around your neck. They're like a little air conditioning unit for the sound.
And they just blow air at you?
Yes, they blow. They just blow on your neck.
How big is this thing?
It just looks like old school, like headphones. And they're like as seen on TV. So Amazon, Walmart, like the kids saw them first.
Okay.
So the nanny had them first. So she was the ultra cool one, and then they had to have them and taught me into them. So they run about $30. And you just charge them. They last for 6 hours. So I fell for it because Gunnar is supposed to be getting acclimated to the heat so that he can play in the hot, hot sun for soccer. But
And this helps with
I'm
that
like,
acclimation.
well, no, it's just to keep him cool. But I'm like, give those to mommy. They're kind of amazing.
Are they?
Yeah,
So they do work.
Yeah, so it's just blowing the cool air on you. So a combination of that, and then like what do you call it? The fan that has the water in it.
I call it the Disney Mister, but yeah, it's like a
Yes,
spray
yeah.
bottle with a fan on it.
So both of those, the combination of those, like.
Okay, I
They
need
work
to go
pretty
get this
well.
because when I go to some of these Fiesta Days events,
Yes, Stace.
I am just like, oh, I'm so hot that you're just like, ooh.
Have you guys ever seen those little fans that you click into your phone and then they spin?
Yeah.
I bought one of
They're-
those, and they're
they're
pretty
okay.
decent. Yeah.
Okay, so also, do you recall the camel safari last year?
That you went on?
Yes.
Yes.
So there's also, I don't even know what you call them, the towels that you get really,
Yes.
really wet.
Uh-huh.
And you put them around
Yes.
your neck. They kind of work really great
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So
They have like those gel beads
There you go.
inside.
I think they're menopausal.
maybe
Towels.
maybe
Well, and if
just saying.
Whatever works.
Whatever works.
and if all else fails, Reams has a fabulous AC and gave us fabulous gear to wear as
Yes,
well.
they do.
Yes.
They did, yes.
Let's
Keep it
check
there.
out. Okay,
Yeah.
so Angie, yours, Natasha and I both saw this before her.
It had you written all over it.
And I came in, we were looking at our little rodeo tees, and then we came around the corner and they're like, this looks like you. And I was like,
Yes.
yep.
So we
Yeah,
were
that's
talking
me.
like
It's
this
perfect.
looks like a boutique shirt.
Totally. You guys,
Yep.
I wore this to Rhett's reunion. I absolutely love it. It's really
beautiful.
cool. It's beautiful. Yeah.
It
and
is-
totally
it's
different than what I
perfectly-
thought would be at Reams.
Perfectly your style.
Yeah.
I'd put it on and I'd be Laura Ingalls. So it's beautiful.
it's
on
you.
Yes.
Well, thanks,
yes,
guys. I
love
really
it.
love it. So thank you, Reams. Darling
Yes,
stuff.
gorgeous.
And then tell us about your
Well,
tees, guys.
is this called like a ringer shirt? Why do I want to say ringer?
I don't know, and I
think
want to
so.
call it
It's
a
like a
baseball
vintage.
tee, but it's
Yeah,
a
like
ringer.
I love that look. And it just says country girl, I think.
So cute.
Area.
Yes.
Looks
in the
darling
shape
with
of
your
a
little
boot.
denim
Yes.
skirt.
I saw that in your posts from your recent road trip too.
Yes.
So you wore it
I
a
wore it.
tad early.
And so did she. You always wait. I get something new and I get like
Excited?
super
Like I
excited.
start to plan a day
I
tomorrow?
never wait, but I did wait this time. And I usually wait when we get our new clothes. But yeah, it's hotter than a $2 pistol.
That's so perfect for you.
Yeah, it is.
So cute.
And it's cute. It's like throwback.
And
Yeah.
none of us are sporting like the Western wear, which of course they have a ton
Gobs
of the
of it.
button down with the sleeves and
Yes, but don't you
Cuff.
worry because we're going to be taking a second trip. Now, Grandpa was was in town, so we did take the kids back. We're
Okay.
bound to. I did promise to call you, but we had to take advantage while he
if
was
Grandpa's here and
when
he's
he was
gonna foot the
here,
bill,
and yes. So Grandpa had the
So what'd you
wallet,
get?
and he was super excited. So we went on the trip for the boots, and we took advantage of the Tin Hall boots. Do you remember when they were here for
They're
the?
so
Yeah.
the
cute.
ones on the bottom.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So, what they get?
So Barrett has the cactus design. They are. I love them. They're adorable. I kind of want the mom pair, but I kind of want the watermelons. So I tried this. So I did try some on, and I'm super tempted to go back. And then I'm trying to think Gunner's design because I was super in love with the crisscross design. But
Oh, I
his,
remember that.
Oh, yeah.
But his are a little different. And now, darn it, I can't remember what
Okay.
his design is. But he got some Tin Halls as well. So
Do you remember like what kind of price range they are?
I just remember
Hundreds of dollars?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't too bad. I mean,
Okay.
they were a bit over 100, yes.
Okay.
And then she got the hat as well because I had
Did
to
she?
have the hat. Yes.
Like the flat ones?
yeah, to match.
Oh,
yes.
that was so
I think it was
cute.
the cinch brown hat. I
Yes.
think it was. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So.
So will you take pictures? We've got to
Oh,
put
yes,
our kids
absolutely.
in their
We do.
boots on social
I'm sure
media.
my mom has already posted, but yeah, we got to put all of it
So-
together. But
But
we're
you
not
do
finished.
Fiesta Days Rodeo and Ute Stampede.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And your grandparents live in Nephi, like they're cowboys,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, my mom and dad.
Okay.
Yep. So
Yeah,
we
it's
get
like your
super excited. So we do the double.
Well,
The
I
double
haven't
rodeo.
gone back yet, but I want me a pair of red cowboy boots.
I think you need one.
I think
So-
you need them
need,
too.
I need to go get
them.
some.
I need
Yes,
some
both.
leopard print. I've got my sights set.
Ooh,
Ooh, I'm so
pretty.
excited for this episode. I love
Fiesta
this.
Days.
I'm
I know. This
excited.
is Stacy's happy
We're gonna
place
have
today.
awesome guests.
Yep, we will.
Next on Studio Chatter, we'll talk about those classic cars. Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. One event of Fiesta Days brings participants from all over the state and even beyond our borders, and that is the car show. Let's welcome Sarah and Kendall Redmond, the organizers of the Fiesta Days car show, to our table to tell us more. Very
Welcome,
exciting.
Redmonds.
Hey, thank you.
Just gonna say vroom, vroom.
We do like a revved up engine.
Yeah, I've been watching cars with my grandkids, so I'm excited. We're ready. Let's talk cars.
Sounds good.
How many years have you guys been over the car show?
This will be our third
Our third together. Kendall was volunteering quite frequently
before that. But this is the third that we've been chairman.
And
Is that scary?
Yeah, is it a heavy load or?
Not
Yeah.
this year.
Not bad.
Last year.
Last year was scary,
Oh, I bet.
but this year is.
That was one of the events that we still had,
Yeah.
and we had to check everybody in
We
and
had
get
to
their
check
name and
everybody
phone
in.
number.
Yeah.
Yes.
In case there was an outbreak, we had to
Yes.
contact them all. So it was kind
That's
of
a
slow
lot.
go.
Yeah.
getting
But
in.
last year it went a lot more smoothly than our first year too, because we had extra helpers because everything else was canceled.
Oh.
So it was kind of nice to have that extra.
So why What's the connection between you guys and cars? Why would you like to be in charge of this?
You should answer that.
I've enjoyed cars since I was a little kid. Worked on them with my dad, like most little boys my age anyway.
Yeah.
And we had heard through the city that they weren't going to hold the show if they couldn't find somebody to be in charge of it, and so we volunteered. That's how we got involved.
So you've always had a love for cars.
Yeah, and I've been going to car shows all my life.
And have you always put a car in car shows?
No, not every
Never?
year.
Okay,
Not
but
every year, but occasionally.
Occasionally,
Awesome.
yeah.
Occasionally.
So do you have a baby, like your own baby? What's your car that you have? Like, is it vintage? Is it newer? What is it that, what do you have?
She has.
Oh, she has.
She-
Okay.
Which one is mine?
I have we have a 1972 short wheelbase truck that we call the date truck.
Oh.
And it only goes out on dates.
It's been a
Sounds
while,
cute.
though.
It's been a
Been a
while.
while. They come out of the garage for a little while.
Yeah.
Maybe down to the car show.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, maybe.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah, it's got a big engine in it, so we'll,
Yeah.
short trips,
Right.
Okay.
expensive short trips with
Yeah.
gas prices the way they are.
Right.
Kendall, he's addicted to saving old vehicles from the crusher too. So
Really?
we've got lots of old, vintage.
She
What would
likes
you
to call them
have
lawn
these?
marks. Lawn ornaments is what she calls them, lawn ornaments.
Yes.
So how many cars do you have at your house right now then? Do I want to ask?
I don't want to answer that
Do we
because
have
I
to, like,
don't
make
want
this
the city to
ordinance?
come
The city might come by.
Right.
They watch
I'm a
this,
little
right?
nervous. What's your address?
That's the problem. We have so many. We have a property in Mapleton too, so
Oh, wow.
because
So-
the city.
Is this your profession as well?
No, it's
So
not.
this is total
This is
side
a hobby.
hobby.
Yeah, this is total
That's
side
awesome
hobby.
to have a hobby like this though.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a great hobby to have.
Yeah.
So there's people, I'm sure, that come with their trailers, come from out of state. How many entries do you have this year? Do you know?
I'm not sure how many have pre-registered.
Okay.
We have a lot that register the day of as
okay.
they come.
Okay.
We've had them from Colorado. There was
Idaho. Last year was the People's Choice Award winner was from Idaho.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one was really cool.
Yep.
And how many entries were there last year? 100?
Probably
Just-
130.
It was it was over
think it
100
was 100.
because we
It
were
was our-
really excited to break 100.
Yeah, it was our biggest show since
Since you started.
forever.
So
I think.
I'm a newbie to the car show thing. So what do? You pull up your car, they lift up in the hood. What are like?
So that's
How do you judge the cars?
That's
I
why we
guess?
love our car show, opposed to a lot of the other car shows that you see in other communities. Our car show is completely sponsored.
Okay.
And so what we do is we go out in the community and we get organizations, businesses that want to sponsor, and then they pay to have a trophy.
Okay.
And then they get to come and they choose their favorite car.
Oh, fun.
Instead of having a judge go and judge and whatever, they get to choose their favorites. And that way, it takes all the stress away from having to make sure that nobody touches your car and everything's perfect, and
Right.
making sure that you're talking to the judges. Or it makes it. We try to make it a very friendly event for anybody. We have boats and bicycles have been entered, so we just
we
didn't-
take anything.
anything.
Anything,
Anything.
with wheels. Ish.
Anything with a passion,
That can
absolutely.
drive.
That can drive wheels or an engine.
That's
Did
so
someone
fun.
get more than one trophy then?
Yes.
So we have had people get like a trophy from the mayor's or People's Choice, but normally we ask the sponsors to just get their favorite car, and then if they have a second runner-up, we try to spread the love out as much as
Okay.
we can.
Okay. Do they
But
get
we have
money?
they don't get any money. We have a
Trophy.
great raffle, and then they get a trophy, and the first 100 registers get a free T-shirt.
Okay.
So
I like it.
So
yeah,
it's for the love of the cars.
it really
It
is.
really is.
It's
coming
for the
out
love
to
of
just
community and
showcase.
love of cars.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It seems like it'd be like I don't know if the right word is groupie, but like
kind of.
But kind of like when you're like kind of get online and see where local car shows are in Utah
Yeah.
for your summer, and if you have a cool car, you might plan a Saturday or a weekend or a little road trip to Idaho or whatever.
Yeah, and there are a lot of the car owners who go from show to show.
Okay, I would think
So,
that would be the case.
Yeah, yeah. And we've gone to shows previous to our show to spread the word also, to let them know, hey, your car is awesome, bring it to our car show. So
what has been some of your highlights or your favorite cars the past few years, like in Spanish Fork?
Well, I'll tell you what, a couple of years ago, the National Guard came. And that was fantastic because kids of all ages, they let them climb on the equipment. Car shows are known for, please don't touch the cars, please
right.
don't, and with the National Guard coming and bringing their equipment, the kids were able to climb all over everything, and just those were the biggest grins we saw all day.
Yeah.
And they're planning to come back this year, so we're excited about that.
Oh,
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
So when I go to the car show, a couple things. We get the best pictures from the car show. Like, we gather all the pictures at the end of Fiesta Days, and by far the best ones are the cars. Like, we could have car pictures all over the Fiesta Days magazine because they're just bright and
Just fun.
shiny and pretty. And then I think I'm always drawn to the color. Like, I don't care if it's a truck or a car or a bike. It's like, oh, honey, look, that's a pretty color. Oh, that's
Oh,
a
I could
pretty.
see me being like
I
that,
like that
too.
color. But that's how I sometimes shop for a car in real life.
Right.
Like, I don't care what it is. I'm not in the mood for white, though.
Or nostalgic too, if it's something
Right.
like one of my grandparents had, or I've seen
Yes.
something
Or
like
if you
that.
have a
that would
memory,
gravitate.
right? If you have
Yes,
a memory of the
true.
car, absolutely.
Like my grandparents
Yeah.
had one of those big long Cadillacs, white, and then with a burgundy interior. And every time I see something like that, I can immediately picture myself riding it.
Yeah, that's
So,
very
yeah.
nice.
My
Yeah.
grandpa, I think it was like a 1970 mustard yellow truck. I can't remember what.
So mustard yellow is the color you look for then?
Yeah, and in my clothes as well.
Rolling thing.
It's fun sometimes too. The owners have like novelty that there might be a hearse there with like there's been like the little stuffed like people that will do something fun in there just for the
Absolutely.
novelty.
Yes.
So that's
Absolutely.
always kind of fun too.
Last year
Yeah.
there was something, I'm trying to remember, and like everything was made from like leftover parts or something. Do you guys remember that?
Yes, a rat rod.
Okay,
And
tell us more about this.
what he did is he built his car out of spare parts of other cars,
word.
and so it wasn't per se a car that you would be able to
Drive,
drive
yeah.
or be able to own from the factory, because he had made it like it
It
himself.
wasn't like a Ford, it was a combo
Right, it was
of
a
like
combination of
everything.
it was
everything.
a
Yeah.
Ford, Chev, Dodge,
Yep.
And you-
Olds, Jeep.
Yeah.
And you called it a
They call them rat rods, and that's
Rat rods.
normally that's a category of cars where
Okay.
they're kind of rusty and old and have that rough appearance.
okay. That was a cool one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the most artistic cars we see are those kind of cars.
The vision that these people have.
Yeah,
is
because they think
incredible.
outside the box.
Yeah, I don't. So I'm very impressed with people that do.
Super
Yeah.
fun.
And I think we may have talked about it, but where is it located this year, and the time and that
It's
kind of stuff?
it's at the sports park,
Okay.
and it starts at 8
Yep.
till 1
Okay.
on Saturday, July 17th. Yeah.
All right.
Excellent. And will there be food?
Yes, food
Very-
trucks will be there.
Oh,
Yep.
awesome.
Then
Yeah.
Natasha will be there as well.
Good music too. Good people. Good
Yes.
times.
Oh, yeah, and we'll have music
Yeah,
there too, live
absolutely.
music.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
thanks for volunteering your time to
Hey,
be
no
over there.
problem.
Yeah, really.
Absolutely. We
Thanks
love
for
it.
inviting
One
us.
of the reasons, like, that Spanish Fork is so fabulous because the volunteerism behind the scenes that make this an event that's just free to the public. They can just
Yeah.
come in and
Yeah.
and
Yep,
walk
and
around and
enjoy
enjoy
it.
it. So
That's
thank
right.
you.
Great.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
You bet.
Coming up next on Studio Chatter, just how grand is the Grand Parade? We'll talk about the big event. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. A parade brings out the best of a community, but a grand parade is something real special. Welcome the chair of the parade committee, Cindy Bradford, to our table.
Hi, Cindy.
Welcome.
you.
The parade, I feel like it all centers around that.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
It does.
Maybe that and the rodeo
And
a
it's
little
a
bit.
big responsibility,
Huge.
isn't it?
I
It
can't
is a
even
lot.
fathom it.
Are you doing it all alone?
So Blake, my husband, and I are doing it together, and then we have a chair, a co-chair, and then a, what is it they're called? The
Outgoing chair.
Outgoing, yeah.
So one
Yes.
cool thing about the committees and a lot of our chairmans, like the executive committee for Fiesta Days, you rotate through. So when you're asked to help, you know it's a 3-year commitment. So you know that, like, okay, I'm not going to be stuck here for 20 years being
Right,
over
so
the parade.
don't, yeah.
So you come in and you kind of get your feet wet that first year, and then
As an assistant?
yeah, and
Okay.
then you're the chairman. That's what Blake and Cindy are this year, and then next year they'll be the outgoing, and
Yes.
so
And
it
then
just
we'll
kinda
get to kind of help just next year.
yeah.
That's
So we've got our
nice,
feet
huh?
wet. Now we're ready to go in, and then
And
we'll-
last year, how was that parade?
we didn't have one. Oh, so
that's so
sad.
hard.
So we were trying to, but it just didn't work
work.
out.
Don't you usually start like right after? Like, do you start in August, September to start planning for the next year, or do you wait until
No,
January?
January.
The Fiesta Days executive committee does, but the parade is more in January.
Yeah, we do a
'cause
meeting in January, the first week in January.
the website went live February 1st, so people can actually start applying to be in the parade February 1st. And then what's the cutoff deadline, Cindy?
We just did it June 30th.
Okay,
we
so
just
And
They're
does
did
it
it.
fill up pretty quickly?
Pretty good, yeah. It was full. I've still got a few that want to maybe get in, but we're at 110 right now.
Oh, goodness.
and you don't want you really don't want bigger, but then
But
there's
you kinda do.
procrastinators, and
Right.
like, oh, but yeah.
And it's like, it's Cosmo. Okay, yeah, I would really like
That's
him.
right.
Sure, we'll push him
We've just
in.
like if schools, people that really, probably
The
maybe
schools
want to get
especially,
in.
yeah.
We've tried to involve them because that's
Okay.
good.
So do we usually allow kind of anyone in the parade, or is there like some pretty strict
There's
guidelines with
strict.
it?
Well, yeah, we have to be able to entertain, have some type of entertainment.
Okay.
So we have commercial, non-commercial, we have politics coming in. We've got, the new.
A lot of people running for
Council,
city council. Do you
yes,
know, I mean, there's
yes.
11 people campaigning. How many of them registered to be in the parade?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I can think of right
Okay.
now. So
Wow.
a good
That's
amount.
a good place to
Uh-huh.
be to get name recognition.
Yeah, that's really
So
fun.
let's start off first thing, the 24th of July. How early is that, and what is that going to look like for you that morning?
I imagine she won't
Early
sleep.
morning. I bet
think
I
the
won't.
23rd to
I
the
know. I'm just
24th.
going to be setting out numbers at like 4 a.m.
Yes,
in the
yeah.
dark. I'm going to be out with my flashlight, setting up numbers. No, it's probably going to be a really, I'm sure it'll be early morning for
Okay.
me. So,
And where do you guys all set up and meet?
So just right there at the middle school on Center, and then we place all the numbers and everything after that, and we'll probably start to setting things up the night before.
Well, there's so many things that are involved too, because you want the correct amount of spacing, and then there's so many announcer stands, and then everybody has to keep a certain width apart, and
Walkers compared to
Yeah, so we have to
cars
know
or
when they
floats.
apply, we have to know how long their vehicle is, so then we
Okay.
know how far to do the spacing for the numbers to line them up.
See, that part would stress me out.
And then she also has to, you can't put the baby contest winners next to the fire department.
No,
Because they
no,
would
you
cry.
cannot.
They'll
Yes,
go
and the
Yeah.
horses can't be by any music, or it'll scare the
Right.
horses. So you got to know where to place.
See, I would want to get out Hot Wheels cars and like put them in my living room and be like, okay, here's the babies.
And you have
How
to
far
place
away?
out like the nice floats. You want them spaced
Right.
out. You don't want all those together. And
Right.
the political people, you've got to space them out because you don't
And the
want
ball
two of
teams, 'cause
them.
they kind of get stuck in the
Yes.
back, and then we're
Yeah.
like, we're out of here. So.
And then bands, do we have other schools
Yeah,
participating?
so a lot the other high schools are doing it, and so you don't want those bands together. But we've tried to keep school stuff together, like all of Spanish Fork things kind of together, and then all of Maple Mountains together, and Salem.
I like that.
Yeah.
So
Just
their
they
little
kinda
town
have
kind of
their-
comes through
yeah,
together.
we try to kind of keep that together.
Do we have any balloons this year? Have we ever been able to do that?
No, but you know what we have this year is called Wings and
Oh, Wings and Wheels.
yes,
At the airport.
and they're going to fly through during the starting of the
Stop it.
parade this year.
That would be
Yep,
cool.
yep. So that should be really good.
That'll be really
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, is there always kind of a wish list that you put together as well? Because I know, like you say, for entertainment purposes, like the floats are always beautiful
I
to
know.
look at, and then the horses are always you always want kind of a number of horses, and then everybody loves the music. So
The
trying to
beauty
get
queens, yes.
right. So to try and get like a certain number of that many, and then maybe cut off and
Yeah, so.
hope
I
for,
know. I was
guess.
going to say we don't want we don't want all commercial. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's what we've that's why we go through them and see. Really, is it going to be a benefit for them to be in the parade? And so if not, then we would maybe not.
So if a
fathom.
sports team wanted to enter, do they need to like be in a truck or, you know, be on a float, or could they just walk?
No,
like
they can walk.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
you
the
can
main
walk
thing,
or
yeah,
drive.
and then like our big, huge thing, you guys, is safety. So we want to make sure that nobody is throwing things from the floats. Make sure that the kids stay behind the white lines. And so we have helpers that are along like the park area. That's the biggest spot, is around like by Barry's right there. So we have, usually we have the football team. I'm not quite sure who we're going to have this year yet, but and they stand right along there, so they make sure that when
Security
they take
guards.
that turn, yeah,
Perfect.
so the kids don't run out. But
Because
yeah,
they do when they know
so-
there's candy coming. I know,
know,
those kids just
they do.
Yeah, climb out there.
Yeah,
Well, I
so
know our committee will ride through on the golf carts to just like, stay back, stay back. You're just trying to keep those kids.
Yeah, we just went to the
Back.
4th of July parade and it was like that. Like they had the white line and
Yeah.
pretty soon those kids
Yes,
crawl
I
up.
know.
And
So do they have people coming by
They
saying
did.
stay back?
Uh-huh,
Okay.
they sure did. Yeah. Especially with horses or vehicles or anything. It's, you know, you got to be safe. But I know those kids, they get so excited. It's all about the kids for the parades.
that's what I
yeah.
think too. Gathering
I
up
really
the
do.
candy. I just had someone emailing me and ask if they could just hand out, like have the people wear like a fanny pack with candy in it, and they could just hand it to the kids. And I said, perfect,
Yeah,
perfect.
that's
That is
Right.
great.
Oh, that's a great idea. A little fanny pack.
Yeah, yeah, and just had
Awesome.
candy in it, and they could hand it.
Can they also toss out T-shirts or other items as well?
Yep, they just have to make sure that they're right by the white line, so they're not throwing it from the vehicle.
So they couldn't hurt someone or something. Kane, what about squirt guns? Is that?
No.
No, okay.
No squirt guns.
No water.
No water. You've got some good questions there.
Right? I just remember years past that they would spray people.
I know, and
hated
you'd
that.
get soaked. It was like big soakers they were
Yes.
doing, and I'd be like, oh, I'm
Those
soaked.
sports boys. They love to do
Yes,
that,
I know.
which, you know, sometimes it feels good, but
Yeah,
But
we
not when
can't
you're
do
like
that
ready for the
anymore.
day.
And I know, you're like, well, I just did my hair, but
Yeah.
now I'm soaked.
Yep.
So no.
Well, I know, just because I help announce the parade for
Yes.
the station. So when they're filling out the applications, when they say keep it to 100 words, brief description, you
Oh,
tell
I
them
better to leave it at 100.
Well,
yeah.
well, sometimes it's a challenge, you know,
know.
trying to get all of the description in there, trying to explain everything, where the band's coming from or who it is, and, you know, trying to keep up.
And I
So
think
it's
our
good.
events coordinator is editing all that currently to kind of, if it needs to be shrunk a little bit.
Well, we always try to get
So
the
did
best we can. but-
Natasha and our producer Pete
Pete,
announce at from City Hall.
Correct.
And it's televised on SF17, of course. We're lucky to have them. But a lot of residents may not know that we've also have 2 other volunteers. Bruce and Lana Hiskey are at the church on Center Street announcing. And then Brady and Ann Jex will be announcing at the church on Main Street. And they're not televised, but they're speakers, so everybody around
love that.
gets the
Can
same
hear.
description that Natasha and Pete are giving out, so they can see what business it is, or from what city, or what ball team, and can be involved with that. So
That's great.
if viewers want, you know, more of that, like what's going on,
Yeah, who
kind of
is that?
choose maybe those church locations on Center Street or Main Street.
And what is kind of the parade route this year?
So we'll be starting up at the top of Center and just go around all the way down Center, around the park, and then all the way down to Cal Ranch. And that's where they just
And
come
that's
up.
where they'll end, is Cal
Yeah.
Ranch. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you're in the heat, it feels like 100 miles.
Yes, it does.
Oh, I'm so
Lots of water.
excited.
Thank you for volunteering to do this.
Thanks
Yes,
so
I
much.
love
We
it. You know what? I
appreciate
just
it.
think it makes our town so great when, like you said, we have volunteers
Yes.
and make it such an enjoyable place to live.
And everyone kind of
So-
just take their turn. It's
Yeah.
not forever. It's just
no, it's
three short
and
years.
It's not bad. And I really love to be involved, and
Good.
so and
Yeah.
I think it's been great.
Good.
Everyone loves a parade.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Coming up on
thank you.
Studio Chatter, we'll take a stroll down the Fiesta Days memory lane. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Fiesta Days runs approximately 2 weeks with dozens of events. No wonder it's our favorite time of the year. Now we have the treat to listen to 3 of our longtime residents about their favorite memories from Fiesta Days. Welcome Haley Pruitt, Jenny Nelson, and Sarah Lee Swenson to our little table. Thank you for being here.
With 3 guests, it does feel a little.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right. Normally I'm on that side all alone, kind of, with Stace, kind of centering. This is nice, guys. This is a nice little
Are you excited?
Yes.
So I want to say that this is one of my favorite episodes of the year because I think for 4 years, right, Natasha, we have brought in just residents of Spanish Fork to talk about Fiesta Days memories.
Because she loves Fiesta Days #1. And then to talk about it, oh,
I love
fab.
it.
And then to bring people in, I think like you all love it. And you
Yes.
all have been raised here in Spanish Fork, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think every family also has some of their own traditions that maybe they remember from their childhood, and then bringing their own children into it, or maybe something that really stands out for them through the years. So I think we're probably just going to begin there. Maybe childhood memories of Fiesta Days.
We start with Jenny and then we'll go.
Sure.
Okay.
So the parade. Like I just remember our whole Hanks family would just meet in front of where J Mart is, still on Main Street.
Okay.
Sit there every year and watch the parade, and then go have lunch after at the park, and
Did
just
they-
hang out. And
Back in the day, did you have to spend the night to get your good spot, or could you just kind of
no,
show up?
but we still would set chairs out. But we were always on Main Street, but we would, block off chairs. They still let us clear back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that still your parade spot?
Yes, still.
Okay,
Yep.
love that.
Yeah. Yep.
Sarah Lee.
I just remember we only lived like 2 blocks away from Center Street. And so we packed up our folding chairs and just marched on down to Center Street, and we would just find a spot and just watch the parade
And that
every
was
year.
your favorite thing too, huh?
Yeah, we loved doing that, and still to this day when I smell candied apples or cotton candy,
Oh,
I
yes.
think of the carnival, and we would always go with my friends down there, and that was a highlight
Oh,
too.
that was.
Things were
we
more
would do
simple
that
back
too.
then, I think. It was
were.
just not.
So nervous.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
So
we have a
much.
lot more that Fiesta Day packs
Right.
in, but back in the
Right.
day it was more the
Right.
parade and the horses going down Main Street and
Yeah.
the barbecues
But I remember
and stuff.
going to the rodeo one time when I was a little girl, and I thought that was amazing.
And now do you guys have box seats?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to come to that
Come back to
soon.
that. And Haley.
I think you're right. I think it was maybe more simple back then because my, kind of first original memory too is the parade. My grandpa, we would sit out front in his front yard on Center Street with all my aunts and uncles and cousins, and I love looking through our scrapbook and seeing pictures of me on my, cute aunt's laps with, surrounded by cousins, just watching the parade right there at his house in the front yard.
So I want to ask, who was your grandpa?
Cleve Swenson.
So that a lot of our viewers
Yeah.
know Cleve.
Yeah, maybe so, yes. And that house has since been knocked down, and they've made a parking lot out of, extended the parking lot where the church was right next to his house. So his house no longer stands where we used to sit and watch. But it's fun to reminisce and
Pictures only.
yeah, and think about it.
Well, talking about parades, each one of you, have you guys been in the parade throughout the years? And if so, what was a highlight or the reason why, I guess?
so I chaired all 3 years in high school. So I was in the parade every year for that. And then this year's my 30th class
Oh, I've been on those floats.
So my dad said, "You better be on that parade, in that float." And so I'm sure,
So you'll be in. You can
So
wave to all of our
try to-
viewers.
Yep, find
Small town-
everybody.
That is so great because my
Yeah.
husband just had his 30th and we grew up in Provo and went to Timpview, but they didn't have them go through the parade, and we were just like, in Spanish Fork, we would have been able to do the parade.
Yeah.
So I think that's such a neat tradition.
And you know what? My cute dad's 50th was like 2 years ago, and that float was full.
Isn't it so cool?
Great.
Full of like 100 people
I
or
love
more.
that.
And they were just a waving, and it was
Yep.
just
It's so
cute.
cute.
Yep, time
Yep.
shines. Sarah Lee,
Yeah.
have you ever been in?
Well, do they still do the children's parade?
Yes.
But I think our ward won the the parade,
The overall float or
Yeah, the
something?
float, and so I got to be on there and do the
When you were a little girl,
just primary age.
back in the day, I feel like our wards and stakes were asked to make floats and do
Right.
that kind of
Yes,
thing. to
because I
participate.
took my kids every year.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a little picture sitting right by our front door, and Hayden and Jade are in little bandanas and their little shirts and their little cowboy hats from being in the primary parade. And Knox,
Yep.
our grandson,
He's
both
gonna
have our
be
same
there.
grandson,
Yep.
and he's like,
We've got to get
it
him in
was
the
just
parade.
cute, you know. So
It's one of the activities in Fiesta Days that's actually kind of shrunk. So our committee this year, we've sent out emails to the different organizations throughout the city trying to encourage them to come on, get your float in. But times are different. It was simpler back then. A lot of mothers stayed at home then. They had maybe
Time
the
to make a float.
Right. My mother-in-law right now, she is in a ward that she's like, let's get in the parade. And she is putting so much time into this float.
Oh, that's
no
so
wonder nobody's
fun.
doing it. This is like
That's
you know
right.
what? We would decorate Hayden and Jade's bikes.
Bikes, yes.
You know, the wheels and
The crepe
I'd get the
paper.
horn. Yes.
Oh, my mom used to make like the hula hoop, like little fringes all the way around.
wow.
Like, so cute. Yep. Haley, were you ever in the parade?
Yes, I remember being in the parade when we must have won like a softball tournament or something. That was an early memory, and thinking that was really fun. And then for cheer and drill as I got older, a couple of years.
That is so fun. It
was
is. It's
fun.
like all the softball, baseballs, all the teams throughout the city are able to ride in the parade too. I think
Yeah.
that's so fun. It just brings
Well, and
the
I love
community.
that our town, when they win state, the fire trucks will go down. Like, I just think we're so
We're still small
just,
town enough
yeah,
that
it's
we
just so great. I
yeah
don't know.
appreciate those
Want to
moments.
support each
Just-
other.
Yep,
Yeah.
Right.
totally.
Well, it's certainly different when you're a participant and you're one of those very active cheerleaders or one of those young kids in the band and they're going the whole mileage in the heat.
Yeah.
When you're able to sit on one of those floats or on the city council Jeep or something waving, right, Steve?
Yeah.
Because it's
spot
going to
to
be
be.
very, very hot.
Yeah, it is hot. And we have the Youth City Council. They are just always so willing to serve. And they're like, could we throw your candy? Yes. Don't exhaust us. You run around and throw the candy. And, we'll
And I
wave.
will wave.
But Natasha is one of the announcers at the parade. So she's like got the best seat
Best seat.
in
the
whole
shade.
parade.
Yeah.
Shade. And
It's a
you
great-
know
great
exactly who's
spot.
coming
That is
through.
a good spot.
Yeah, I haven't seen the list yet this year, but it's always fun to
So
announce.
it is full. We try to limit it at 100. And I think we're just
right
like,
there.
105, 108, trying to let those last teams or school groups get in. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's full. And that was like before the 4th of July, so I think we're ready.
That's so
I have never been in the parade, gals. Never.
You
Well, I'm
haven't?
a transplant
That's a
from Provo
tragedy.
down here. It is a tragedy. So I'm really pushing towards Studio Chatter one day, having a float.
Oh, that's a good idea.
There you go.
Well, you do know you have
You
to
could
stick, you have to
announce all
stick
the way
around.
down.
You have,
I-
you have
I
to stay in
do.
You
town.
need to do it for the Christmas, the light parade too. You guys should do a studio
Super fun.
chatter
We
way.
could do that. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll invite
Let's move
you
on to
special guests.
rodeo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
How important is the rodeo to each of your families? Do you go every night, one night? Do you have box seats? Haley, let's start with you this time.
Okay, that's a good question. So it is important to our family, but probably most important to my dad. He would go every night, where we would just go one.
Really?
Yeah. So he loves it. We weren't diehards like him, but yeah, throughout my childhood, we would always go to the rodeo. And we actually have a super fun memory just from, I think, maybe 3 years ago. So my little boy, Crosby, he entered the mutton bustin', and he won. And it was such a fun night for us. I mean, it was just mutton bustin', nothing serious. But that's
right.
For our
Bull rider.
family,
Yes.
it was a fun celebration of, we were just so proud that he could ride that sheep across, the rodeo arena and hop off and land on his feet. And he told me he was so happy he got to kiss the rodeo queen on the cheek and walk around with his big trophy. And so
And
that
what
was
a memory for him.
yes.
Right. And for
Yeah.
Grandpa.
Yeah, his grandparents were pretty proud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was kind of a fun thing that happened
that's
recently
awesome.
with the rodeo for
That
us.
is so fun.
Yeah.
Sarah Lee, what about you guys?
My grandson won mutton busting as
Did he?
well. Yes, and he did awesome.
Champions
Got
on
a
the
big
table.
medal, and
Right, we
it
raised
was-
them right.
We do. It was great, and so we love the rodeo. We go every year, and my husband is a sponsor for one of the bowl, the bucking chutes.
yes.
Is that what
okay,
it's
that's
called?
great.
And so
What is your husband's business?
it's Security Insurance Agency.
Right there on
Yeah,
Main Street.
Right on Main Street. And so we have an opportunity to go every single year, and our kids love it. Our grandkids, you know, get decked out in their hats and
Yes.
It's fun when they
boots
dress
and all
up
that.
and get
Yes, they
excited.
love that. So
That's
it's
awesome.
fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
And Jen, do you?
Okay, so the rodeo is probably the biggest part. So my brother Nick Hanks is the one that runs the rodeo now.
Yeah.
So when Nick and Chris, my brothers, were younger, they high school rodeoed and then they pro rodeoed. They both graduated from Weber State College and then they pro rodeoed. So they were in all of them. But when they were high school rodeoing, they were the ones that had seen when the kids ride the lambs backwards, the mutton busting backwards. At a rodeo that they had been too far away. And so Jade, my second son, he was the first one for Spanish Fork to ever see somebody ride it backwards, and he won the big, huge trophy.
Oh, my word.
So Jade, my son, brought, and Nick and Chris brought that backwards mutton busting to Spanish Fork Rodeo.
And that's so
Wow. Yeah.
I love that this just came full circle.
Yeah.
Triple buckle crown right here. That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway,
Very
they
good.
so now we have the seats and they go every night and
Oh my
support
gosh.
Nick. So it's good. Yeah. So we love
Awesome.
it. Yeah.
Wow.
So I grew up with it my whole life. So
Very
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, we'll continue this conversation after this short break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Let's return to the Wayback Machine and share some more stories.
Wayback Machine. I love some of this stuff that he says.
Oh no, it was way back.
Okay, so
but-
we talked about parade. We talked about the rodeo. Now let's talk about something else: food. What are
and
your
family
memories
traditions, yeah.
surrounding around the food, the barbecues, everything like that? Should we start with Jen this time? Sure.
Yeah, so I'm the only one that lives up in town now with all my family. So for the last 28 years, we've lived up on the bench anyway. And they all come to my house after for lunch. And we've had you and your family
They
a few
have had
times.
us, right.
Yeah.
So after the parade,
After the parade.
everyone comes over.
Yep. My whole family comes over.
Do they stay all day?
Nope. The boys don't want to go down to the craft show.
Yes.
And so we go down. My mom always loves to walk through the quilts because she's a big quilter. She's had her quilts in there a few times. So we do that and then go walk through the booths. And the boys
Hang
have
out
to
at home.
take the kids to the carnival.
Oh, you guys have a better day.
Yeah, you can't
They make
escape
fun
that.
of me because I'm
Even
the
if you try.
foodie. But so I want to know: do you change it up? Do you have like the standard? We want this
kinda
every
have the
year.
standard-
Yeah.
What is it?
Do they look forward to something? The family like, Mom, you must make this every year.
Oh yes, we
What
do
is
the sugar cookie stars and stripes pizza,
yum.
and then
That
we
is
always just do meat tray and rolls because
See, that's totally
it's
different than what we do.
hot with hamburgers, and then everybody brings salads and potluck, and my mom always brings her baked beans. It's like
love
I
it.
baked
I
beans. I
love
had to
it.
bake that this year for my 4th celebration.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
Well, it's like once I married my hometown guy, Clark Swinson, it opened a whole new world of celebrating to me because the Swinsons, his dad was Jack Swinson that was
best
the
guy.
recreation
Oh,
director
I love
for
him.
many, many years.
Love
and so,
him.
So it opened my eyes to what celebration really
bet.
was. And so so we have breakfast all together with our family. And then well, on the 24th though, we have donuts and drinks and stuff
Okay.
in front of my husband's office, and we
Okay.
watch the parade. And then after that, for the recreation department, they have like a private pool party.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we go to that, and then after that, then we have our big barbecue.
But I think it's not so private anymore. Now everyone's invited. the whole city.
Oh, is it the whole city?
I
It
think
didn't
so.
used to be that way.
Stacy's just been showing up.
No, I've never been on the 24th, but yes.
Stacy
it's a
just
pool
hears party and she just goes.
Yeah, true, and
No,
you should.
it's in the magazine,
Rightly
so it
so.
says party,
Yeah.
pool party.
Yes.
So we just have barbecued hamburgers and hot dogs and all the fixings, and then off to the rodeo. So it's a full day.
The pool is a good place to be because
It is.
some years is it so hot that you just are like,
Yeah.
holy cow, I feel sick because it's
Yeah.
like 105 and you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
So
In fact,
I
my
like
kids
the pool.
thought that their grandpa owned the swimming pool.
I'm sure they did.
Anyway,
As every child should.
Yeah, it's okay. You don't tell them any different.
Yeah.
Those are good memories.
And what about you?
We're definitely foodies in my family.
all right.
Thank you. So growing up, as far as food, we would do a Mexican fiesta for Fiesta Days.
Oh, how cute. That's a good one.
Yeah, and that was fun. So that was more, my younger years. But we would do enchiladas and chips and salsa and, pina coladas and all that kind of fun stuff.
that's a fun idea.
Yeah, and my mom would always, get out the maracas and just fun decorations to, just make it fun for the kids and the family. So we would do a fiesta for Fiesta Days. But since I've had my own family, and I don't know where I got the idea to even do this, but essentially, the 24th is for Pioneer Day,
Yes.
throughout the state of Utah. And so with my little family, we started doing a Pioneer dinner. And when I say Pioneer dinner, I use that term loosely. I know this maybe
No,
isn't
I'm like,
what that...
tell us more.
Right, I know this isn't what maybe the pioneers were eating, but this is what I feel like might be kind of country style. So I would usually just do like a roast, and then we do homemade cornbread, and just like a veggie, and I think I've done like a chocolate bundt cake. But the part that my kids love is, how you can make the butter in the mason jars and you pass it around the table and shake it. I thought that would be so fun. So we, set out the little jar of butter, and the kids pass it around and shake the jar of butter while I read Pioneer stories to them.
Haley, this is darling.
Wow.
Starting a new tradition.
cute.
Tradition is important.
So good.
Yeah, and my kids look forward to it. And I will usually go to I don't have any Pioneer gear except for maybe like the cowboy hats, my little boy would wear and stuff. But I would go to one of my aunts and just collect some bonnets. So we'd wear some Pioneer garb and just sit down and have our dinner and share the Pioneer stories. And it has been something really neat to just take a minute and think about the reason why we celebrate.
doing it.
Yeah, and actually last August we moved right next to the Pioneer Cemetery in Spanish Fork, and so it's fun to have that connection, and that could be a fun tradition for someone who maybe hasn't been to the Pioneer Cemetery, but during the month of July for Fiesta Days, stop by the Pioneer Cemetery and read the neat stories of these
amazing.
Pioneer
I've read them,
families.
and it's really neat.
Did you
I've
guys
been
know
up
there's
there.
a book about all of those people? My mother-in-law gave me
No.
this book for my birthday. I haven't read it yet, but
Yeah.
I'm like, stories
No,
on
one of
all
my
of these people buried there.
Right. One of my first memories is Mel had to do some sort of project for church, and so we took her and her friend over to the old Pioneer Cemetery, and it had kind of that stage type thing, and took pictures, and so we have these pictures of her in Pioneer garb staring at her Book of Mormon. It's such fond memories, but I love how they've recreated it and just kept
Yeah.
Yeah.
it able to be in
with
there.
the statue and the
I
plaques. It
love
just kind of
these.
brings
I
to
do
life,
too.
their
fun.
their
The Pioneer
stories.
stories and the
Yeah,
Fiesta.
I want to know how to churn butter,
Yeah.
Fiesta
but
too,
gosh,
okay.
that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Can I come to your party?
Well, and then not to say, but there's a horse parade, and so we were in that every
Parade
year
is
too.
what it is.
Us,
And we haven't
because
done
we
that
had
for a
horses.
couple years.
Yeah,
Because it started
so-
shrinking and shrinking and shrinking.
Well, and I'm so excited with 2020. Last year not doing anything to be able to
right.
do it all this year. Everybody, I think, is just itching to get out there and
We weren't able
celebrate.
to do we weren't able to do like
It
a
was very
carnival or
the parade.
or the
It
parade.
was maybe the rodeo sidewalk sells.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't quite remember what we did and didn't do because I know there was,
was
some.
small.
It was
Yeah.
some things that
reggae
were
and some
there
were
and
nay.
not, and we were able to do a little bit of rodeoing, so that was
Yeah.
kind of nice. But yeah, I think it's going to be awesome to have it full
Yeah.
blown. Do you guys go down to the shops? I know
Oh,
you
yeah.
talked about sending the men to
Yep,
the carnival
we go
while
down
you
to the
shop.
We go get a Texas Twister,
Yes, that's
and then go.
Natasha loves,
Yes.
loves that
Had to get
part.
the
Yes.
So
Yep.
this year the sidewalk sell, well, I guess the sidewalk sells are the businesses, but the shopping normally is by City Hall, but because of the library construction, that will all be over at the current library at that park.
There'll be a lot
It'll be
going
the
on there
food
then.
on one side, and then all of the
Shopping.
on the other side, and then you'll just cross the street to go to the carnival.
Okay.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Note to self, yes. Do you
Yes.
guys do any of the other activities? Like, I know there's been the fishing, little ducky, the softball tournaments. This year, I think pickleball tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
Cornhole is
So
in
in.
there.
Cornhole.
Yes.
Do you guys enter any of those? Or do
Speedy
anything?
Spaniard.
The Speedy Spaniard, I ran a few times. Yes, I have. And then
you
lunch,
guys?
and then they had
One
breakfast
time.
in the park.
One time.
Yep.
Never have.
Yep.
Have you? Angie?
No, I have not. I have been
She was like
afraid I
avoiding
haven't
that.
had.
Yeah. Yeah.
My game guys.
And then they
Oh,
always
needed a
had
bucket
breakfast
list.
at the park. And then they used to have like mud volleyball long time ago, years
You
ago.
have a good memory.
Well,
do.
we'd go do it. Do you remember that? They
Vaguely.
would kind of, yeah. Anyway.
So one thing I started doing once I was on city council was the car show. Do any of you guys
I've been
go
to
there?
the car
Yeah, we've
show.
been
You
there.
guys, it is fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun.
Like
fun.
And
your
it's been
husband,
good for years,
kids,
like
yeah.
neatest cars.
Yeah,
Where is that located
That's
this
down
year,
at the
Stace?
sports park.
Okay.
On Volunteer. So
That's
good.
a
And
good
that's
way
on
to spend a
Saturday
day.
the 17th. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music, nice cars,
Yeah,
just
some-
very
some
low
food
key.
trucks, just a couple
just
you
a
can
few,
load up.
right?
Well, and the movie
Just
night's
saying.
been fun. The movie night that they have at the park.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we went to that a few
Music
times.
in the park. I think on like a
Yes.
Sunday they would do a little
Yes.
concert, and that's something that my family has enjoyed. Take blankets and chairs
Yeah.
Just
and
enjoy.
go down and listen to the music.
And then
Yeah.
I remember my girls performed on the 24th behind at the library. Don't they have
On that little
performances?
stage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little
That's right.
concrete
Yeah.
stage. But yeah, you're big time.
A lot
You're
of these
able to
things, I
perform
think,
there.
too, are just like a self-esteem builder for a lot of us growing up. To be in a parade, like
Right.
to say you've been in a parade, whether it's dance or cheer or your baseball team, or if you took state and you're
yeah.
in a boat. There's just so many opportunities that I just think that you just feel like part of the community, and you grow up and have those fond memories.
Well, and everyone comes back. Like the people that I
Yes.
see is so fun.
Yeah.
Like you haven't seen them forever, and
Yeah.
then you see them over the 24th,
Come in for the
and it's
holiday.
just like
Yeah.
you just get excited.
Yeah.
So before
Yeah.
we go to commercial break, what are you most excited for this year?
That's a good
I'm
question.
excited to join you and your fiesta party. Just let me know the date and time.
I will. I'll
And
send out
I can be
invite.
there. I
for
can bring
all of ya.
salsa. Salsa Madre makes a mean salsa, and I can just go
Yes.
get some.
Okay, you're invited for sure.
Yeah. I think just being with family and just feeling that sense of community.
Uh-huh.
Like at the parade, you just see all those people and
Yeah.
you just have pride in the town that we
community,
live.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yes.
that.
I agree.
For sure.
I'm really excited for my class reunion to see friends after 30 years. I'm old, but I am. But I'm excited, like to see
I
friends
just had mine
and
2
have
years ago,
everyone.
and the
yeah.
30th is a good one.
Yeah.
And Angie just went
We
to
just
her
went to
husband's.
Reds, and it was so nice. I
Yeah.
thought, for a moment you feel like you're stepping back into that high school mode. You get a little bit nervous. We sat at the door like, should we go in or not?
Yeah.
And then it was so refreshing to be.
Yeah.
I think everyone's just at a different stage, and we're all able to just connect. So that's going to
Yeah,
be super
I'm
fun.
excited for it.
And the
Yeah.
fireworks, guys. Hopefully we can keep things safe from
Yeah.
the true fires, but have some
Yeah.
fireworks.
Haley, do you have anything that you're just super excited about?
Probably just a little pioneer dinner that I told you about. I
Okay.
especially love that. My kids do. And then just getting together with some extended family
Yeah.
for fireworks that evening. It is fun just to watch those together and visit and play
And now that you
games.
have little kids, it's just so
Yes.
magical, I think, seeing it through their eyes. Like,
yeah.
you as a child loved it, and then you kind of get to that teenage young mother, and you're just like, oh, but then
Yep.
seeing that child and your grandkids light up
Right.
again.
Kids
Yes.
do bring
Yeah.
magic
Oh, I know.
back
they do.
into it for
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
Well, this was so dang fun.
Yeah, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Happy Fiesta
Yeah.
Days. Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely.
There's more studio chatter coming up. Welcome back. We made it. Can we love Fiesta Days anymore?
No. Like honestly, like
No.
this is so exciting to jump into Fiesta
Right.
It is very exciting.
It just brings back all these nostalgic, just really nice, fun memories. I mean, there's like hard ones where it was super hot and stuff like that.
Right,
but
right.
Just like such great memories. But the theme of the day for me was just the community service. All those people giving like part of their talents and service back to the community so that we all can have a great Fiesta Days. It's really great.
It is so cool. And I think I've said this before in years previous, but there's like over 400 volunteers to make Fiesta Days.
Wow. That is
what
incredible.
It is. It's big.
And we're a little city, but look at all that that we're able to do. I love it.
Yeah, I love having our 3 guests come talk about their memories. And Haley sharing about her Mexican and the Maraca Mexican food.
And then the
Fiesta.
pioneer little shindig that she does.
Great ideas.
I think that we were
that was
all
a twist on
completely
it.
enamored with that idea.
Yeah, that was fun.
And that Jenny's family is a long time history of like being in the community, but also with the rodeo, her 2 brothers,
Yeah.
and mutton busting, like turn backwards, like that wasn't really a thing for the riders to ride backwards on
that
the sheep.
her brothers brought it in.
Yeah.
But then all 3 of our guests had someone in their family win.
Right?
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well, then every time that we would start talking about one thing, I seem to think of something else. So even the flag burning ceremony.
Oh, yeah.
That's huge for me. I love that.
That's
and then
so
even
cool.
the entertainment in the park. I mean, everywhere you turn, there's just something going on.
Right.
So, and the baby contest.
Oh, yeah.
So many
Forgot
fun
about
things.
that too. Yep.
It's a great
It
time
really
of
is.
year.
Yeah.
I was just on a walk last night with my daughter, and we're in July. Like, it's the best month of the year. I said, but like in 2 weeks, it's over.
I know.
It
goes by fast, and then we
wow.
start school shopping.
Yeah.
So let's just focus Fiesta Days
Okay,
as
yeah.
much as we can.
It's awesome.
And I'm going to try and hit a few things before I go on my vacation because
Okay.
I'm kind of sad to miss the big stuff. But
Well, and again, thanks to Reams for sponsoring us.
Yeah.
Like a full month of just.
and this is going to
wearing
be a
their fun-
lifelong outfit for me. So
Yeah.
thank you.
They're very generous, and I'm
Yeah.
going back. I'm gonna go hit Reams.
Okay. I
This
think you
next
should
couple
get some
days.
red boots.
Okay.
You deserve it.
I'll post those as well. You're gonna go?
Oh, yes. I have
Natasha
to-
needs some
I have to-
matching.
Okay,
I
maybe
have
we
to
Barrett
go
boots.
back. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I promised you that I would before, so I'm sorry.
No.
I have to kind of take advantage
Maybe we can
of
get
that
Dad to go again.
moment. That would be nice,
Take us.
right? I'm like, so
So I have a friend, Dad. Come on up.
where's our boots, right?
Right.
That's what kind of happens when you have kids. You kind of get pushed out of the way, and it becomes about their traditions, and you get left in the background.
Yeah. But it's all worth it, seeing it through their eyes.
It
isn't
really
Yeah,
is.
it really
And
is.
in the long run, it really is all about the kids, right?
Yeah. 'Cause they
Just
have
like
so
the
much fun.
parades and all of the things that you
Yeah.
do and the memories that you create.
Because as a kid, you get to go to the barbecue and eat all the food, but as the parent, you're like shopping for it, prepping it, you eat,
You
then
have
you
the
clean
worry
up.
of it, and they
Yeah,
just show up and just enjoy
that's
the
why
moment.
it's so great being a
yeah,
kid.
yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, happy Fiesta Days,
So
my
fun.
friends.
Thank you.
Yes, likewise.
Enjoy.
Likewise. Thanks for being here with us. We hope you enjoyed the program. Tell a friend about us.